So, what you working on?
Power windows on a 1992 Mazda Miata.
All right. Where are your windows?
I have a power window kit sitting over here. And the reason I'm replacing them is because this kit would be a lot cheaper than buying individual manual windows. Now, I haven't unboxed it yet, but I will do that in a moment.
All right. Hello, and welcome to an episode of What You Working On. Right here we have
1992 Mazda Miata.
Tell us a little something about it.
Small engine. This is the 1.6 liter. They come in 1.8, but I believe those are after the model year 1994. Small car, not too fast, around 100 horsepower, depending on the certain small things you have on it stock. This one is an automatic.
So I heard you've done a couple modifications to it already.
So far, I have lowered it. I bought some really budget coilovers, and they dropped it about 2 inches, I would say. And I put a new soft top roof on it because the old one was cracked. I went and purchased the new frame for like $75 on the Facebook Marketplace, and it came with the weather paddings. And I got the frame mainly because the weather paddings were $200 to $300 new, when I could get better condition ones than the one the Miata came with for a lot cheaper.
All right. So have you named her? Or are you going to name her?
Named it Bugaboo.
Bugaboo.
I like that name because the dictionary definition is an item of fear, which the Miata is not. So.
All righty. Well, this is 92 Mazda Miata Bugaboo. This would be in our What You're Working On collection if you're interested in people doing mods to a Miata. This is the MX5 is
Yep.
what they call it? Okay. All right. So welcome to Bugaboo.
So this is a power window kit that I got from Mazda Miata, and they're a pretty good company to order Miata parts from. They have a large catalog of items.
Yeah, well, I was doing a little research on the Miata. That's one of the sites that came up quite frequently with Moss.
And this kit should come with 2 window regulators, one for each side, and the wiring harnesses for all of the electronics and whatnot. Comes with a summer sale book. I'm assuming it would come with another sale book for whatever time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Comes with instructions with pictures and then a wiring diagram.
Okay.
So these I would assume are most of the wires, and then each of your window regulators. Left side, and then that would, I assume, be the right side. Yep.
Okay. wiring you have there.
So for the wiring, you have the piece where you put your window switches into, your window switches.
Okay.
Have to look and see what these are. These are covers for where your manual window things go, like the cranks. And then I guess these would attach to those since they're threaded. And then all of your wires.
You get the popping panels.
Now on your Miata, you will have a little panel here, which you have to take off, and a bolt in there. I don't have it. There's a bolt in here, which I have, I just don't know where it went, and a bolt right here. And they are 10 millimeter, I believe, or you can use a flathead. All right. Now, inside your handle, there will be a little Phillips head that you will need to remove. And it's easier to remove if you have the door locked. And that's what the screw would look like. So I find it easiest to open it, and then you can just pull it right out. Really simple. Just a screw. Now from there, I don't have a proper tool to do it, but there will be these little panel bits. I find it easier to take the speaker off first and then the rest of the door. Just make sure if you pull them out by hand that you don't use too much force, because they will break. And then from
Have
there,
you taken that off before? Okay.
also how you're saying just get it refitted, I would want a new one because it's all messed up. So now inside, I don't have the original piece, like the weather piece that goes in here, but using, I've seen before, any sort of plastic, just something to seal it up so water does not get to the inside of your door panel or to your fancy bit.
Pretty good idea.
Work well. And then I just used weather tape, and you can get this relatively cheap along with just a garbage bag. The proper way to seal your door, though, is to buy OEM or an aftermarket recreation bit and some sort of weather, like silicone material that sticks it to your door.
And this has worked pretty good for you so far?
So far. Now, minus all of the tape that I have in here, your door panel should look relatively similar to this. This tape does stick up here really well. So. Now I had a metal rod in there to keep the window up some, but as you can tell, it didn't really work that well. Now, from this point, you will have some bolts for your window.
They're 10 millimeter.
These are 10 millimeter.
Or Phillips head it looked like.
Yep. And there should be 3 of them, but I only have 1 of them in right now. There's one right here. Normally, one connected right there. And then one up here. Okay. But with all of that, you should be able to just pull your window right out. Just like that.
Are you missing a little seem like on one of these?
Well, I'm missing one of these rubber bits because it goes right here.
Okay.
It was cracked in half when I first took the window off.
You got a replacement for it?
I'll have to go get one.
Okay. Who you think have the? You think Auto Place have them?
Probably.
Okay.
It's AutoZone.
You want to go on and run up there and check them out right quick?
We could.
Okay.
We'll probably get some grease for the motors and stuff too.
Yeah. Pretty smart thinking. He's going to go ahead and take this door off so we can look at that.
This is what the part that should be in your door to cover up the hole would look like. Now this one has Phillips head instead of the flat heads. And these are what this side looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what a good door on a Miata would look like. Mm-hmm. At least from what we've seen so far, it looks a lot better. On the inside of your hand crank, kind of a hard angle to see, but there's a little C-clip in there that goes around it, and you need to take that off to get the crank off. that is what this looks like. And it should just slide right off. That one came out. There we go.
Screws them.
This is what the door panel should look more like. Overall torn up. This is what your original piece.
Do you have any glove?
I don't. But this is what it should look something similar to, which is a lot better looking than the plastic bag. It has specific portions for all of your holes and where things are supposed to go. If you want to take it off as careful as possible so you can reuse it, you should take off your door handle on the inside. And it's just 3 Phillips head screws. Stink bugs. But be careful because this gel will be really sticky if you get it on your hands. From here you can put your door handle back on. Now, similar to the other side, you have to lower the window to a certain point to get access to your screws, which there's 2 on this side and 1 through here. Roll your window up. There are 2 more things, I believe, that you need to take off to get your window out. So right here, there's a bolt, and right here, there's a bolt, and they make sure that the window doesn't go up too much. Now, these are 10 millimeter. And there's one right here. And there is one right here. This is what the piece looks like, and it's just used to stop your window from rolling up too far. And now you'll be able to pull your window out. And I recommend, just so you don't lose your pieces or your screws, put them back into the holes.
Guess you're not. What about you? Thought about tint for your windows?
I'd like to. I'm not worried about it though, because I have to figure out how to tint the rear one. It's just made out of plastic. So. I've seen people tint the rear ones just using like spray tint.
Yeah, that might crack. It didn't crack on them. Well, I have to see what kind it is they use.
But if I was to do that, I'd get it tinted permanently, and I'd just take this to an upholstery shop and get them to put a tinted piece of plastic on it, just because that looks more professional.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did it fall down inside it? Crumpled up there, is that it?
Part of it.
And it looks pretty kind of like, can you get any more of it? It's all crumbled, degraded now.
That's all of it.
It kind of looked like,
Here's the other piece.
yeah, it looks a bit different. It looks a bit different.
Alright, so from this part we need to wire the window regulators to the car. This part will be attached to the motor, and you need to take more of the wires that came in your kit and attach these to those wires and feed them through your door over here. Now, an easy way to do this would be to take your speaker off so you can have easy access to where the wires go through the hole in the door. And these are just 3 Phillips head screws. Your speaker. This one's up there real good. Was that one?
It's just sealed. Once you pop it loose, it should.
So once you get your speaker out, it might be kind of hard to take off if it's the first time you've taken them off. But you have access to right here, which is where your wires go through the door. How'd you pop the pin out? So something you can do to make it easier to access your rubber bit is take the retainer off of the door. And you can bop it up with a hammer and then take some sort of pliers or grips and pull it out. There we go. And this is what that piece looks like. And from there you should be able to open your door just a little bit more. Now, you'll want to take this rubber piece right here off because that's where the wires are running through the door. And you can just take a flathead screwdriver and pry it off. So something you can do, which makes it a very easy job, is you can disconnect your speaker, and there's a little clip that holds the wire in right here, and you can pull the whole unit or the whole wire out of the door panel, so you can just stick your power window wires directly through the hole that's here instead of having to fish it through the door. Just try one at a time. All right.
Yeah. Now the fun part is really feeding it through this hole and catching it on that underside. That's the hard part. You got a flashlight?
There's one on my phone with my phone's almost dead. Let me get my headlamp.
Alright, let's see if we can fish it through.
Alright. How far should I pull it through?
Pull it through pretty good. Go ahead and connect that in. It's not okay. Yeah, you got. Well, no. Put this side. Yeah, push this side down, up more. Look at it because it's got an arrow.
Is the arrow supposed to go down or up?
Top. It's gonna point on which side goes to the top.
Speaker wire. Go ahead and connect these two.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you put these back in, make sure that you go like on the inside of this pillar that's right here.
Start with it on the wire and then wrap down.
Like start here or start up here?
Either way, either side.
Now you put tape up here so you can just insulate the wire and make sure no water or anything gets into it. And you do this to both of your wires. Alright. Just be able to hammer it back in.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to take the center console out so you can put your door switches right here. This is where they go. and there are 2 screws right here. There's 1 screw right here. To get to this screw, you will need to take out your center console accessory, which I have the terrible cup holders. And then there are 2 screws, well, 1 screw on each side of the center console, and they're both right here. So with those screws out, you should be able to pull it directly out. So this is the portion that we're going to be taking out. And it seems to just be 2 screws. And out it comes. Now I'm not sure if this part is just plug-in, because I've seen some people have to drill it, so. Okay. And this piece, it looks like it should just clip into place. Oh. No, it doesn't just clip into place. So I'm wondering, so in order to fit this piece into it, you will need to Dremel tool out around this outline, so you can fit this piece into it. I do want to get the other Dremel bit and see if I can. So the proper line to drill along would not be the outside line, it would be the inner line on the inside. And that should give you enough room to put this bit into it. So if you lay it on top like this, you can see the outline of this matches the outline of this part. And that's the part that you will need to drill out. Alright, once you get it drilled, or dremeled, or whatever you use to cut it, and cleaned up, you should be able to fit this piece in there quite like that. Pretty nice. And you would put this part back into the car once you get the switches in and wire them from underneath.
Best way to try to feel up under there and figure out how to route it so when you're running it, it's going to be above wires so you have a little bit support. You can just keep that together.
Hold it.
Yeah, and just pour the whole thing through.
Taking this screw off should allow me to fit the wires under the dashboard, or the center console of the dashboard.
Put it in neutral or auto. First gear, take it all the way out the way.
And I just need to get the wires up under there.
Oh, there's something I wanted to show you because you got to bring it beyond this piece.
Oh.
Hold it. That's as far as I can get it there. But see that lip right there? You're gonna want, yeah, yours fit real easy. You want to bring it all the way up
Okay.
to where it's coming at here, because you don't want it on that part right there, so where the wires would be pinched. So yeah, you did great. Just bring it on over, and now just I loop them under that piece right there, and then bring that over there and bring them on around.
Alright, go ahead and untape this. Big beetle. So once you get this piece connected, you can feed your switches into it, and you can follow the wiring diagram that comes with your kit to figure out which wires go to which. Your 2 black wires will go to your black and blue wires wired from the window regulator motor. Your 2 brown wires are your ground. Your red and yellow wire will connect to a thin red wire, which is used to turn on the lights on the switches themselves. You should wire that to either your light switch or something that turns on when the ignition is turned on. And then you have your thick regular red wire, which attaches to another red wire, and that is used for the main power supply, and that is connected to a 30 amp power supply. We're going to connect the black wire at the top to the blue wire. Switch the wires around if your windows go up when you want them to go down. Blue, and then black.
That's the top one or the bottom.
That's the up. Or should I wire this one the other way to see which one works properly?
Oh, we wire them both the same way. I'm assuming they would. The thing is, I guess you can tape them after you see how they work.
And then,
And you just have to tape these.
what do we do for the thin wire? The thin wire.
Once you connect them, we'll just tape all of these.
Well, no, I mean like this one, for the lights on the switches.
Connect them, then we'll figure out where to wire.
Alright, so this goes to the power somewhere. And our last wire is for the lights. I'll have to clean this up, and should be looking good from there. Alright, so we just need to put this on something and then connect that to power and we should be good. Well, we need to ground it too. So we're going to put a little bit of tape on each of these just for protection so none of the wires touch. And once we make sure that they all work, we will put more tape just to finalize what we've finished or what we have done.
Tape. You got it.
Yep. Might need more than that.
That's good for what you're going to do.
Okay. Just get it around the main connection point.
Well, all of that would have fit around the whole thing, man.
Oh. Like just all of them?
Mm-mm.
Ah, never mind, I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
We want to try to use this point as a ground. I want to try to connect this thin wire into the wires for this light because this wire connects to the lights that are inside of the switches so they turn on when you turn the lights on. We are reversing these wires as we've gotten the rest of the wires connected, and the windows go up when you press down and down when you press up, and reversing the blue and black wires with each other fix your problem with that. Alright. We have taken the tape off of all of these connection points because we're going to replace them with these plastic bits to finalize all of the connections. And the windows work, as you can see. So now we just need to make sure they're all properly connected and we will be good. We're going to take tape just to make sure that it's secure and wrap tape around the connection again. I am currently feeding the wire that's connected to the 30 amp fuse. You need to get it back here with these two wires, the blue ones, the blue and the black ones, and it's kind of a tight fit in here. So you're going to have to wedge and do some pry work to get it in there. Alright, it's up in there. And just feed that through there. I'm going to make sure all of these wires right here are pulled together, except this one because it was loose on its own and it goes to a specific spot. But I'm just going to put a thing of tape around these wires just so they stay contained. We've tapped into this wire, and this wire, when you turn your interior lights on, this light turns on, and with it tapped in, it also turns on these lights. Now for this, these wires go under this little lip right here, and then your light goes all the way around and screws in right there. There's this little lip at the back which goes under that tiny bit. Line this piece up, and you can see where your screws will attach to it. Two screws that go there. And once that's good, you can. So our wires will not fit directly where we had them. So I'm going to take the tape off of them and see if I can get them to fit nicely back behind. Right back down here. Two in here, one right here, and then two on each side, and your center console should be back in. See how it looks. So with everything how it should be, this is how it looks. You have your switches right here, and it looks, well, it should. And with the lights on, you can see, turn this off for a moment, you can see these light up, and the light back there lights up too. So we're gonna have to order another one of these. It's a guide. It's similar to this, but it's shaped differently, and they didn't have any at any of the auto parts stores that we've visited, so we'll have to order one. So once you get your windows, your window regulators and everything wired back up so they work, you can start putting your window in. you will have to pull some of the cords in the window back to get the window in. We need to put the stoppers in, and we should be good on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Also, once we get them both on, I'm going to put the top up to see if they line up right. So, we have a piece of plastic. This is just one of the pieces of plastic that came with the kit, with the regulators in it. But we put on this piece, this is your cover for the door, and it comes with this, which just covers up the hole for your manual window regulator, or for the hand crank. And it's two pieces, and if it doesn't fit, you can just take some of the back of the screw off, because you probably won't be taking this part off for a while. Where's the speaker bit? Speaker. Yeah, you see why I want to just replace the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
When I put them in there before, like when I took it off and put the, whatever it's called up there, I had trouble getting it in, because the plastic just wrapped around the screws. I have to get a few more of the screws that are here because they're missing. For the most part, this is what your finished product will look like. And with it working, and that's basically it. And you would repeat the same process on the passenger side, and you should have your power windows working.
You might can't see him, but you can hear him, baby. I think that's a wrap.
Right.
Oh, I think we're complete, and check it out. Thank you once again for checking out what you're working on video. Hungry like the wolf.